This is the second attempt at making this video because just about 5 minutes ago, I forgot to press record on my recording software. How do I do that? Am I even a real YouTuber? But like they say, practice makes perfect, and maybe Tommy Pham and Ha-Seong Kim need to go back and practice some more because this run-in in kind of shallow left field, yeah, Tommy Pham was not happy about it. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're going to any baseball games or any sporting events, concerts, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek. Save yourself 20 bucks off. Who doesn't love saving money? Because I forgot to bring it up yesterday, let's talk about the players of the month according to Major League Baseball for the month of May. We have Marcus Semien and Fernando Tatis as the players of the month, which is crazy because Tatis missed a lot of games due to injury. You have 41-year-old Rich Hill, and on the other side, Kevin Gausman as the pitchers of the month. For the rookies of the month, you have Adolis Garcia and Trevor Rogers, and then last but not least, it's not Craig Kimbrell. Ryan Tepera is the reliever of the month in the National League, and then obviously Liam Hendricks, who was dominating opposing hitters all month long. He is the relief pitcher of the month for May 2021. So before we talk about Tommy Pham going off on his teammates as well as the Dodgers scoring 11 runs in one inning, that was a franchise record ever since they have moved from Brooklyn to LA. Let's go ahead and bring up the walk-off from yesterday. The Blue Jays versus the Marlins. Poor Adam Duvall. He loses this ball in the light, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. turns it into a triple. The day after, he needed a triple to complete the cycle, so the timing could not be worse. Randall Grichuk on this home run now has 40 RBIs on the season. Jazz Chisholm, I need you guys to go order his jersey ASAP because he honestly, I'm looking at him playing and considering his age, he looks like a future Hall of Famer. Randall Grichuk, he hits a second home run. Starling Marte goes the other way, so it's not looking all that great for the Blue Jays. And speaking of not looking all that great, Bo Bichette coming in to his fourth at-bat. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, but he makes his first hit of the game count on a 2 RBI triple. It ties it up, and then Joe Panic, he makes sure that the Blue Jays fans don't panic with this walk-off sacrifice fly. And I do want to mention that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the rest of that Blue Jays offense, they might be the scariest offense in the history of my life when they're playing in Dunedin, Florida. Like, I don't know what it is about the air and the atmosphere that is Florida, because I thought it was humid, but the ball absolutely jumps off the bat there. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in Dunedin at home is essentially Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire put together on steroids. Of course, I'm not saying that Vlad Jr. is on steroids, but that's how good he is. I'm going to put up his splits right now. Again, look at these 12 home runs and 1100 OPS at home. That's ridiculous. I'm going to show a clip of Paul Goldschmidt making it a 1-0 game because I could post this on Twitter with the caption of things that happen before unfortunate events, and this is exactly a perfect situation because Goldie hits the home run and then everything went downhill for the St. Louis Cardinals. Justin Turner brings in Mookie Betts, and the Dodgers go off for 7 runs before Cody Bellinger hits a grand slam on a 3-0 count. We absolutely love 3-0 daddy hacks. So Cody Bellinger has 6 RBIs in the first inning, and that was the most runs ever scored by the LA Dodgers, not the Brooklyn Dodgers, the LA Dodgers in their franchise history. Walker Buehler drives in an RBI, and Mookie Betts on a 2-0 swing, which is so funny to me because the Dodgers were up by a bunch of runs. Mookie Betts swings on a 2-0 count, but according to the unwritten rules, 2-0 counts and 3-0 counts are completely different. Like, again, to me, I've played baseball, it's still a hitter's count no matter what, but I mean, I guess the unwritten rules are the unwritten rules for a reason, and they're stupid. But either way, the Dodgers pick up the W yesterday, 14-3, and they are 1.5 games back of first place as the Padres keep on losing. We'll talk about them in just a moment. The Yankees versus the Rays. Gio Urshela, in my opinion, I can tell you this firsthand because of that grand slam off James Karinchak. Urshela has been the most clutch Yankee over the last 2 years. He hits a 2-run home run, and then Frazier, just a day after driving in 2 RBIs on a walk-off home run, drives in 2 more on a little base hit, and Jordan Montgomery goes 6 1/3, only allows 1 earned run against, I would say, a pretty hot Rays offense, and he strikes out 6 different hitters. The bullpen almost gives it away a few times, including a roll to Chapman. It was a bumpy 9th inning, but he gets the save. So because the Rays and the Red Sox both lost yesterday, we'll talk about the Red Sox in a moment, just like we're going to talk about the Padres, the Yankees are now 3.5 games back of first place. So between the NL West and the American League East, both of those divisions teams kind of are going to be up for grabs in terms of who's going to be the first place team for the rest of the year. Let's talk about the Rays for 5 to 10 more seconds, because Wander Franco, the #1 prospect in all of baseball, in 24 AAA games, he has 5 home runs, 4 stolen bases, only 11 strikeouts in 24 games, and a 940 OPS. What more do they have to see? Taylor Walls, he's a pretty fun prospect. I think he's done fine for the Rays, but it's Wander season. Call that man up. And even Vidal Brujan, call him up too. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Padres debacle. They're now on a 4-game losing streak, and the Cubs have all of a sudden won 14 of their last 17 games. Ha-Seong Kim, he drives in the only RBI for the Padres, and their defense crumbled yesterday as Eric Hosmer and Tommy Pham. I don't know if this was a Tommy Pham problem or if it was a shortstop problem, because Padres shortstops and left fielders, they run into each other a lot, so they have to definitely work on that in practice. And Tommy Pham was not happy, even though it benefited the Padres, because the Cubs runners did not see that Tommy Pham dropped the ball. So when Ha-Seong Kim threw it in, Manny Machado tagged third, and then he threw it to second for a double play and no run scored. But maybe Tommy Pham, because he's been injured a lot over the last few seasons, he's kind of saying like, hey, we can't do that. It almost seemed like he was wanting to fight some of his teammates, and maybe because they're on a 4-game losing streak, maybe it's just their leash is very short and they're very reactionary right now as opposed to just playing good baseball. They're kind of on edge, it seems like. Anthony Rizzo drives in a few runs, and Javier Baez now has 14 home runs, 38 RBIs, a 123 OPS plus, and the Chicago Cubs bullpen is elite if you ask me. Adbert Alzolay, I do want to mention him as well, the rookie starting pitcher from yesterday. In his last 18 innings, he's only given up a combined 3 earned runs. And also, just because people forget, I want to show this fun picture. Anthony Rizzo beat his former team. Yeah, he was drafted by them, in case you forgot. So a very interesting game, the Orioles versus the Twins, 2 bad teams. Matt Harvey goes a solid 3 innings, only allows 1 run. Then Tyler Wells comes in for 3 scoreless innings and gets the W, as Michael Franco ties it up, and DJ Stewart and Ryan Mountcastle. I absolutely love that name. I can never get over the fact that his last name is literally Mountcastle. They make it 6 runs combined, and yeah, the Orioles beat the Twins. 2 bad teams playing. Always fun to watch. I'm just being harsh. If you're a Twins fan or an Orioles fan, things are going to be fine, especially if you're an Orioles fan. With Heston Kjerstad, you have Grayson Rodriguez and Adley Rutschman. The future is going to be bright for Baltimore, so just be patient. A matchup that I cannot wait to watch for the next decade, the Nationals versus the Braves. What does that always mean? Acuna versus Juan Soto, and the Nationals got the best of the Braves yesterday. Starlin Castro on this RBI now has 1,682 base hits, so by the time that it's all said and done, I think he's going to be well over 2,000. Dansby Swanson, he ties it up on a solo shot, and then Juan Soto, aka Ted Williams Jr., hits a 2-run home run. Ozzie Albies also delivers as well. He now has 9 home runs, 30 RBIs, a 110 OPS plus, and a fantastic glove over there at second base. And Yan Gomes delivers with a clutch home run. And Brad Hand, ever since I called him out, he has been really good. And Francisco Lindor is going to be the next person that I'm calling out. So I'm calling out Francisco Lindor right here, right now. But honestly, he might not need it. He's been fantastic lately. The Astros versus the Red Sox. I was very afraid for Framber Valdez because he walked in a run. But from that point on, he was amazing. Yuli Gurriel drives in the first run for the Astros, and then Miles Straw on a check swing drives in the second and the last run for the Astros. Framber Valdez, he buckles down, goes 7 innings, only allows that first run, racks up 10 strikeouts, and Ryan Presley comes in for the save. Over the last 7 games, the Astros starting pitchers have gone 5-0, and I think they have an ERA of like 1.5 or something crazy like that. They've been lights out. The Rockies versus the Rangers, another matchup of 2 bad teams, but they are showing some effort. Ramil Tapia over in left field, he robs, I'm not going to say, I was going to say my friend, but I don't want to overuse that. Joey Gallo over in left. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa drives in the first run for the Rangers, and his WAR is now the 2.8 already on the season. I mean, he's on pace for a 6.5, 7 WAR, and a lot of people don't even bring him up on a day-to-day basis. Willie Calhoun with this web gem, he keeps the game close, and Brock Holt on this failed triple, because he does get thrown out, he makes it a 3-2 ball game. But because Coors Field is so big, talking about the outfield, this ball is able to drop even though Garcia has the defensive prowess to make this catch. Just unfortunately can't make up the ground, and Tapia with this double, as well as Josh Fuentes with this home run, and then Tapia, who was all over the place yesterday, saves the Rockies as Antonio Sensatella goes almost 8 innings, only allows 1 run. I should clarify that's 1 earned run because the Rockies offense was a little iffy to begin the game. The Oakland A's are now on a 2-game winning streak, and because of this 6-0 victory against the Mariners, they finally have a positive run differential to begin 2021. They are outscoring their opponent by exactly 1 1 run. So Mark Canha drives in the first 2 RBIs. Matt Olson, 37 RBIs already, and Mitch Moreland on his 5th home run of the season drives it 440 feet. But Sean Manaea only needed those first 2 runs, or even the first run from Mark Canha. He goes the distance, a complete game shutout, only allows 4 base hits and has 8 strikeouts. So a fantastic performance all around from the A's. As the Mariners, I thought with Logan Gilbert and Jared Kelenic, they were going to get that shot in the arm and start winning a bunch of ball games. They've been decent, but it's kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. Jared Kelenic so far has been disappointing. But then again, he is a rookie and the league will figure you out in a second. That's what happened to Akil Baddoo. That's what happened to Luis Robert in the final month of 2020. They're going to figure you out, and now it's up to Akil Baddoo, Luis Robert. It's up to Jared Kelenic to figure baseball out all over again. And then last but not least, remember how I said that Francisco Lindor might not need to be called out? Yeah, he's hitting .310 over his last 7 games, and I think I figured out the reason why. We'll talk about that in a moment. James McCann, he makes me want to hit the weight room because this ball was demolished, and then Ketel Marte, he wanted in on the no doubt home run action as well. Ketel Marte is easily a top 30 baseball player in my opinion when he's completely healthy. Madison Bumgarner with this RBI, he re-grabs the lead, and then McCann as well as former Diamondback Brandon Drury, they make it a 6-5 ball game. Now the Diamondbacks do come back to tie up at 6 runs apiece, but after Francisco Lindor shaved his mustache a few days ago, and ever since he's done that, I mean the mustache was holding him back. He has been kind of 2018 Francisco Lindor, maybe not in the power department, but batting average wise 100%. So this RBI gives the Mets a 7-6 victory, as Edwin Diaz did not implode. So he wasn't Ed Lose Diaz, he was actually Ed Win. Right everyone, well that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're a Padres fan, let me know if you're at all worried about your team. The 4-game losing streak, Tommy Pham kind of causing a commotion in the dugout. Remember to use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off your entire purchase, and enjoy this day in MLB history.
The 1-2, breaking ball out toward left field, hugging the line. This one's got a chance to go. Goal! Big fly for Albert Pujols, number 600. Albert Pujols, the 9th man in Major League Baseball history.